Major, we are here for day number 5. Our final series is upon us, and we are looking forward to finding our third and final top 3 team from our final game of the day. We've also changed up the panel a little bit, so let's introduce you. We've got a couple of casuals joining us, but only in clothing terms, that is. Welcome to the 2 DC boys, Moo and Misery, and Alan, of course, Nahaz is back with us as well. How is everyone? Moo, you right?
It was all right.
Bringing the memes?
Now you're just, being kind of rude.
Am I? I'm sorry. Well, you have to get used to it. This is the rude panel.
Oh.
Yeah. You're just lucky Charlie's not here. That's all I can say to you right now. Because if Charlie was here, oh my goodness, you'd be burnt alive. Misery, you've been subjected to the Charlie burns.
No, I mean, he's a fan of NA Dota, right?
Yeah.
And that's a good thing for us. So, yeah, Charlie likes us. We like Charlie. It's all good.
All right, it's all good fun. Alan, how you going?
What are you doing, Paul? These guys both play NA Dota. Do you really think you're going to get them with flames?
No, that's true. They're probably used to it, right? After all, they probably follow the Empire guy on Twitter, so it's all good.
Yes.
It's been a good day, isn't it? A couple of fantastic series, and especially the middle series with the upper bracket final.
Absolutely ridiculous day, and Newbie and OG definitely looking like 2 teams that could win this tournament outright. But I think we've got, if you go by the numbers, we got a match here that could easily be a grand final. These teams are number 1 and number 2 in GPM, number 1 and number 2 in kills. This is going to be one heck of a series. I expect it to be very tight.
Yeah, absolutely. Misery, summarize your event. Have you enjoyed it? Do you feel like you did enough? Do you feel like you proved some points to people that maybe didn't rate you?
I feel like it's been a really good event, overall. For us, it's been, I was hoping for top 8.
Okay.
But, we fell short playing as VGR. I felt like we were a better team, but, not on the day.
Yeah.
So, but overall, it's been good for us. We had some pretty successful games, and it's our first event.
Yeah.
And we have some really young players, so for that reason, I'm pretty all right with the result.
Yeah. How about you, Moo? Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I mean, we could have done more.
Yeah. I do get that sense of disappointment from you both as well, that you kind of feel like maybe you let yourselves down against VGR, or maybe maybe you were the better team, but didn't come out that way. And that's Dota sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just how it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't go into a major expecting to go 9 to 12, right?
Yeah.
You expect a little bit more. So when it happened, you are a bit disappointed, but
Okay.
You're 9 to 12 for a reason, I think. So,
right.
yeah.
Plenty of experience, though. Good experience as well.
Yeah, very good
around
experience.
The corner from TI qualifiers and TI itself. Who knows?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a very good experience for us. We're definitely, every loss, we're becoming much better. So it would have been nice to have more games, so we could have lost more and then come back stronger, and not just go lose a bracket and lose. But that's how
the
it is.
PPD route.
Yeah.
Learn more by losing.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. We've got a little surprise for you, Moo.
A surprise for me?
A surprise for you.
Me in particular.
Not you in particular.
Okay.
But your mum.
My mom.
Yeah. It's her birthday today, right?
Yeah. My mom's birthday.
Happy birthday from Manila. Just look into the camera and say happy birthday, Mum.
Which camera?
Everyone around, say happy birthday to Moo's mum.
Hi, Mom.
Which would be nice for you. Just,
Thank you.
Family's
My mom
a
will
long way
appreciate
away.
this.
Is she watching?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can all follow her on Twitter,
Okay.
Yes.
At
@GamerMooMom. It's underscores, There you go.
Love it. Brilliant. Okay. Thank you very much. We thought we'd just do something nice for you
Thank
today.
you.
Just to get over the whole low finishing. He's not having any of it, is he? You're right. I absolutely couldn't flame them at all. You were right. I should have followed your advice. We're going to get more from all 3 of them in just a moment. More fun and more talk about LGD and Liquid. But first, we need a couple of teams.
Silent but deadly, much like their team captain Kuroki, this is a squad of reserved players with a formidable playstyle. Hyper-aggressive against even the stiffest opposition, they overwhelm their enemies. They are the European team of the moment. They come to Manila on the back of 3 consecutive grand finals. They are the definition of all for one and one for all.
Welcome on stage, Team Liquid.
The return of superstar Xiao Wei to the battlefield has placed the expectations of a nation on the shoulders of this Chinese organization. With a world-class support player in MMY and one of the most experienced captains in the scene. This team is here to prove they are still a Chinese superpower.
Welcome on stage, LGD Gaming!
The brains of Xiao 8 and Kuroki go head-to-head as LGD and Liquid clash. Two of the most explosive teams so far in the Dota Major. We're looking forward to it. We'll start with Liquid, Alan. They have been at the top of the sheets pretty much throughout the whole tournament. Favourites coming into it. They're now on the point where they have to deliver to get into the top 3.
Yeah, really parallel stories to me for these two teams. Both knocked down into the losers bracket fairly early on by MVP and Fnatic. Both changed a few things, made some adjustments. Liquid in particular picked 17 different heroes in their first 4 losers bracket games after drafting really conservatively before that. Showed us Doom, showed us Riki, 2 heroes that they hadn't run before, and really has looked like a well-oiled machine in these past 6 games.
Yeah, when you drop down, as you boys did, because you were in the top bracket and then drop down, what does it do to you in terms of the change? Does it change the way you draft? Does it change your mentality? What does it do?
I don't know. I don't know if it changes that much. At least not for us, because we did face Newbie, and we knew Newbie were really strong, so we maybe already considered that it was a possibility. But it's good that it's best of 3. So when you go down there, you actually have a match, and not just a best of 1.
Yeah.
So of course it might change a little bit on how you think, especially because you did lose prior, so you might have learned a lot of things about the little game that you lost. But I mean, Liquid, they clean sheet after they lost. They haven't lost in loser bracket yet, and yeah, so that's very impressive.
Yeah. What do you make of that MVP victory over them and then them dropping down? Do you see it as a blip? Do you think it was just a one-off?
Yeah, I mean, I think that MVP caught them by surprise, honestly.
Yeah.
I do believe Liquid was the better team, but maybe MVP just pulled it up, you know? Yeah. They drafted these weird things. I think MVP was given Lifestealer, a hero with a 70% win rate in 33 games. I don't think you give someone that hero anymore. So they learned a lot, obviously.
Yeah.
Like Misery said, they just cleaned the table when they went to lower bracket. So.
Yeah. And LGD, Alan, they've been really impressive since dropping down. And we had this thing where we kind of had some info before the tournament started. A few people said to us they've been playing really well against Chinese teams in practice, which, you know, yeah, you can take it both ways. But we were like, okay, that's interesting. And it was the Chinese teams telling us that information as well. So we kind of expected that they would do well. Did we expect them to do this well, though?
Well, you know, you look back on it and you say, we've seen this story before with
Yeah.
Xiao 8 teams. Xiao 8 puts together these teams for TI, and this is this team's first real coming out party at a major event. You watch their replays, they've looked pretty good. Never has it come together. But for me, one of the big stories of this tournament is, will the real M God please stand up? We just got to see Miracle versus Moo in an incredible series, but maybe arguably has been statistically the most impressive player at the tournament. 686 GPM, more than 100 ahead of the next player, 11.25 kills per game. The next highest is 9. This guy has been on fire in their wins.
Yeah, on fire and a long way ahead of anyone else. What do you make of him?
We got our 2 M gods on the panel here, guys.
Is it scary? Is it scary playing maybe right now?
Or maybe he has definitely played like a beast this entire tournament, and it's not that he's limited either. You know, he just plays incredibly well on all his heroes, and he has, like he said, he's farming too. You know, he's in fights too. He's just everywhere.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's definitely a lot lies on him. You know, for LGD. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. I know for like maybe not a fact, but like I felt that Liquid was not so strong going into this tournament, and they lost some scrims, I've heard, and you know they come to winner bracket, they play maybe Phoenix, and they didn't look that strong. You know, they overextended sometimes, they made mistakes, they got caught off and stuff, and ever since then it felt like they got their stuff together.
Yeah.
And
well saved.
yeah, thank you. And yeah, I mean, I have them as favorites to win this tournament. I feel like they're just gonna stroll past everyone from here on out.
Including LGD today?
I think so. I mean, it also makes sense, right? Secret, they went top 2 the first major, then they won the second major.
You're not going to use logic on me now, Misery, are you?
Liquid got top 2 this last major. Now it's their turn to go top 1.
Yeah, but so what about the Cloud9 thing? Are you not a believer in the Cloud9 thing?
The curse or what?
The TI Cloud9 team that then win every major up to the next TI. It's Bone 7's chance next, isn't it?
Or Sing Sing.
Or Sing Sing, yeah. Either of those two could win TI.
Suppose.
Kuroki wins here. Kuroki wins here. Yeah, and then basically...
Either way, the memes are real.
But
the whole Cloud9 team
makes sense,
win,
right? It makes sense. So it's Fata's turn as well.
It's Fata's turn,
It all makes sense.
Yeah. You not believe in that?
Sure.
Okay, good. Are you on board? Come on, Moo, you came here for the memes.
I mean, it's not really a meme.
Is it not? Doesn't qualify?
It's kind of a low quality one. You know?
Okay, yeah, no, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. All right, let's take a look at the mid matchup because that's the one that Alan highlighted as one that we need to keep an eye on because that does feature 2 players who, as you said already, have been in red-hot form. Yeah,
and we talked a lot about Maybe, but I want to talk about Fata as well because he's actually been the highest farmer on Liquid's team, and the way that they've played around him since they dropped down to the losers bracket has really been remarkable to me. He's put up the farming numbers, but Matumbament and Mind Control, again, other two M gods on the Liquid side, have been really great at setting up plays around him. I wanted to ask the two of you guys because I feel like Liquid, when they're playing their best Dota, they're the most efficient team out there. I want you guys to tell me, what are they able to do to be so efficient around the map, to set up these trades that they're able to make?
I mean, I think it comes down to, I mean, Fata is a very efficient player overall. He's always very stable. Like, that's one of his best strengths is that he's always going to perform at a super high level. And on top of that, he's very good at farming too. So, and same goes for Matumba, man. That they're both very stable. They always play well. It's very rare that you see them really like fall through or whatever. Like, so I think they're just a very stable team. All their players usually perform, and I think that's why they always get far in these tournaments.
They're really good at securing items. They'll get this when they have Mind Control Slaughter. They'll get his Blink Dagger, and then he just won't touch a creep for the rest of the game. He'll sit behind his other cores, and now he's just a support player at this point. The next items he'll get in this 50-minute game of Slaughter is this Tranquil Boots Blink Force. And you won't ever see another item. And then I think that's just a really good way of playing. Because then the rest of his cores are just farming the rest of the map. They're fearless because the Slaughter with Blink is right there to kill anyone, you know?
I mean, you could say they're very good at being efficient about farming, but at the same time, they're also always ready to fight too.
Right.
Like they will always have full mana, full HP. They won't run around in the jungle killing camps without mana and stuff. They will rather go back to base, go back to the jungle, and then kill camps. So be more efficient, be fast. They don't waste TP somewhere. They're just very fast at their movements, and they're not wasting time, and not wasting TPs, not wasting smokes. They're just very smart team.
As you guys are talking about this, the other thing that occurs to me that they do that I really like is I feel like they're one of the best teams here at constantly putting pressure on the enemy supports in fights. Fogg has made this point. We talked about on the panel that a lot of the lineups we're seeing here scale well 1 through 4 or even 1 through 5. And Liquid's, they're picking these heroes like Lycan that can put pressure on those enemy supports, kill them off, get into the back lines. And as you're talking about the plays that they're making with Slardar and Darkseer, they're able to draw the other team into the fight so that you're not necessarily giving away these support levels and support items.
Yes, definitely. I mean, their drafts are always going to be they always want to pressure you. And then it goes hand in hand with how they play. Like I mentioned before, they're not wasting any time, you know. And then they have these heroes like Batrider and like Lycan, Lifestealer, like even Lone Druid, you know, and they will go as 5 when they need to, and they will split up when they don't have to fight. And like, yeah, they're just very solid overall.
All right, we're going to get into the predictions. I don't know whether you're both aware that we've been having this prediction game going on the panel since day one. I'm going to update you on the scores as well right now. There are 4 men who are currently 100%, but they've only actually had one time on the panel. But they do include Toby 1, they do include Cap and Gods, and LD has actually been on the panel twice now and got both predictions correct. You have to have 5 is the minimum. Nox decided it's 5 minimum to take part properly. So, of those that have had 5, Nahaz, you are 6 and 2 right now, at the top of the table on 75%. Alongside you, however, is Fogged, who is 9 and 3.
Ooh.
So that's statistically better, right? I don't know. Stats don't lie. Stats don't lie.
He has a
just behind them is Black, who's 9 and 4. Charlie's 7 and 6. Purge is 8 and 6. And Winter is 4 and 6. But Winter has been going out there on some underdogs.
Yeah, that's true. He's been repping his SEO
he has.
teams,
He's been repping the SEO, so we'll kind of forgive him on that stuff. So what we do is we're going to get your predictions for this particular matchup. We'll start with Alan. Which way is it going?
I look at the numbers, and what LGD has been able to do coming into this series is really remarkable. They have, like what I said, I think is the best statistical player of the tournament. But you know what? Sometimes you go with your gut. I got to go Liquid, 2-1.
The stats are gone. Okay, Liquid for Alan. Where are we going, Misery?
I agree with Nahas. I think it's also going to be 2-1, and I don't think Liquid can 2-0 them. I feel like LGD are also like an incredibly stable team, so it's going to be hard to actually not lose a game against them because they're so strong at staying in the game kind of thing.
Difficult to break them down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And but at the end of the day, I think they're a better team, and they've been together for longer, and they have won tournaments, and they've gone second tournaments, and this LGD has not really achieved that just yet as a team. Yeah. So I think Liquid will do it 2-1.
Okay. No.
Well, I thought Nah was going to say he looked at the stats, and Liquid has not dropped a game yet in lower bracket, where LGD has. So I'm going to go Liquid 2-0.
Really? Bold.
Yes.
Okay, I like it. All right. Clean sweep of Liquid fanboys here on the analyst panel. They've all gone for Liquid in our lower bracket game. The winner, of course, does go through to finish top 3 at the very least and still has a shot at the championship as well. On Twitch, though, it's 75-25 in favour of Team Liquid, and perhaps not surprisingly, got a feeling Twitter might be somewhere around the same margin. Let's take a look. He says, waiting with bated breath. There he comes, 74-26, so roughly the same.
Well, what does this mean, though?
What does it mean?
Isn't Twitter mostly Western? Doesn't Chinese have more of a different thing?
Yeah, I think if we did it on Weibo, then it would probably be...
probably be 75%.
Probably the other way. Probably be 92-8 in favour of LGD.
It's actually probably better. So
yeah, I don't know. It's just a bit of fun. You know, we just like letting our head
I do
down.
like numbers, yes.
Do you?
Yes.
Alan's your man.
In good company up here.
Alan's your man.
I'm already feeling it. Another NA Dota 2 panel. I mean, we're going to make you an honorary NA Dota guy, as if you're not already.
Oh, I am. I'm die-hard America. Don't worry.
He flames us when we lose.
Adopted America.
Yeah. That's what you got to do, right, to be an NA Dota guy.
Oh, we're back to this again, are we? In terms of the draft, because it's a couple of minutes away, what are you expecting? LGD, I mean, they've not really gone too far away from the meta, and neither have Liquid either. So are we going to see something crazy in game 1?
I feel like it's just going to be fairly standard bans, maybe. Like, I don't think anyone is going to want to give lifesteal away too much.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody wants to play against Wisp. I think they both play Wisp, as far as I remember. And what's there? Batrunner is going to be contested. I think it's going to be interesting to see if teams value Beastmaster highly, because that hero is kind of a little bit everywhere. Sometimes it's untouched, sometimes it's first pick.
I think some teams really, really want it every time, and some are really like, we don't want them to have it.
It kind of gives away a lot when you first pick a Beastmaster. You kind of give away a lot in the sense that he can go jungle too.
Yeah.
But
and we've seen it here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what it is. Sometimes the hero seems amazing. Sometimes the hero seems really underwhelming. It comes down to how you can counter the hero. Like, there are many ways to counter the offlane Beastmaster, but there are also ways to counter the jungle one. And if you can hide it in the draft where he's going, and then towards the end, draft well and get the right angle on the Beastmaster, then he's going to be very good. But it's sometimes hard. So I think the hero is kind of tricky.
What do you make of the Lycan picks? Liquid have favoured it in the past,
I think
earlier in the group stage.
I think it's likely Lycan will be banned first phase by LGD.
And there it goes.
Yeah, there is.
I was actually wondering if they would ban Lycan or Earth Spirit, because they have to ban Lifestealer, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
LGD
you would
have-
assume so, yes.
LGD have taken out Lifestealer in 8 straight games as one of their first bans.
Oh,
they're going to
they
go
don't?
open. They're
Okay.
going to give away.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, God. The Lifestealer Beastmaster Open is on the table if Liquid wants it here. Although Zhao 8 Beastmaster is pretty
I would
standard
assume
for
they
LGD.
pick Lifestealer and then LGD takes Beastmaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, although Liquid are now going to be thrown by the fact that they didn't ban the Lifestealer for the 9th game in a row, and then be thinking, well, hold on, have they got something?
this is the
gonna
master
counter
plan.
it, isn't it? Yeah.
By Zhao 8.
LGD like
Mind
their
games.
It's got to be Lifestealer.
They do take the Lifestealer.
But now let me talk to you about this, guys, because this is a big question. We've seen Lifestealer in so many games and this ridiculous win rate, almost 70% now. There are a lot of heroes that before the tournament, people were talking to me like Dazzle, that, oh, Dazzle counters Lifestealer. We haven't seen it necessarily in these games. How are you thinking about, you're thinking about a lot of this drafting, Misery. How are you thinking about countering a first pick Lifestealer right now in the meta?
I mean, I think there are heroes that are good against it, but it's still still just so strong. And it doesn't fall off, and it's good in lane. It deals burst damage. It has this infest. It's a magic immune. It's it has kind of everything. And even if you do have counters to it, you can still try cores with this hero. It's not a hard carry. It's a hard carry that doesn't need 4 protect 1 to make it work, you know. And it's a strength hero with insanely high base strength gain, right? I don't know. The hero just seems a bit too strong, even if you do counter it.
What I think they're thinking about right now.
Batrider Wisp?
If they pick the Slark.
Oh,
They picked the Ricky.
yeah.
This is what I was gonna say. If they pick the Slark, then Team Liquid's gonna pick Ricky, and you don't want to play against Ricky when you're Slark. It's awful. You can't get Dark Pact. You can't do anything.
And this is a really, really good idea for LGD because what Liquid have been doing is they've been picking Lifestealer with multiple initiation vehicles to get him in the fight and, like we talked about, put pressure on the opposing supports. With the Ricky, you have that scouting information that's much more difficult to predict, and you can counter the infest by instant smoke.
Definitely. At this point, I don't think you can give away Ricky Lifestealer as well. You give away Lifestealer as one thing, but if you give away Ricky too, it's this concept where this Ricky is permanently invis, you never see him, you know. Yeah. And then when Lifestealer goes off map after level 6, you have to be scared everywhere from this infest bomb. And in a game, you don't, Lifestealer is going to be off map a lot because he's just right-clicking jungle creeps, right? And it's terrifying to play against. And you need to buy so many sentries everywhere, and your supports are going to be poor. It enables the offlaner. This Ricky is it's very, very strong and very hard to play against right now. So this is very interesting, I think.
Has LGD picked this yet?
They played Ricky.
Ricky
once.
opening. This is more of a Western thing, right?
They've been adapting really well, though.
Yeah,
to
they've
exactly
changed
that
up
kind
their
of
picks
thing,
a lot.
all the way through the lower bracket.
Oh, yeah.
Batrider is definitely a staple of theirs. This is something, I don't know how much they've shown it in this tournament, but it's something that apparently Zhao 8 has looked good in a number of officials as well as scrims on this hero. They're very confident in it. I wanted to ask you specifically, Misery, about the Ricky pick because you guys were one of the first teams that I saw experiment with this in some of the NA games. Especially in this kind of a matchup, what do you think Ricky does in lane? What are his objectives early on in the game?
So I think right now the Ricky, how they want to play this out, as I see it, is they want this Batrider offlane, and then they want this Ricky to sit there. And
it's kind of like a Mexican standoff.
Yeah,
you know the Ricky's there, but you're just kind of
even if you know the Ricky is there, it's hard to do anything because Batrider is going to spam Napel on you. If you start going on this Batrider, then Ricky comes with Overvenom and starts hitting the support. And then the trade-off is going to come in, and it's very beneficial for the Batrider Ricky lane. So it's a very good combination in the offlane. And
Boy, the Rubik pick. What do you think about this Rubik pick? I'm a little bit thrown by this. We've seen second phase Rubik make a bit of a comeback in the games today, and I don't necessarily feel it's a consistently high impact hero.
It's probably just generally good against Slaughter, as it's easy to steal Crush, and Crush is amazing to steal on Rubik. It's 8-second cooldown, incredible stun. And it doesn't really reveal anything, and it gives you this initiation, right? It's just a very open pick that does ensure good lane, possibly top to kill the Slaughter off lane, and it just overall is nice.
Whoa.
Oracle.
There you go.
Has that hero been picked yet?
Oh, yes, it's been picked.
Huskard has.
Oh, yeah, with Huskard, right.
But they can't put a Huskard in this draft.
Nah. It's just for the Batrider.
I mean, Slark's a good pick here, I believe.
Yes. It's pretty all right.
This is something that usually only Chinese teams pick as well, is the Slark. A lot of European, North American teams kind of shy away from this hero.
Fnatic has played with it as well.
Slark is definitely coming back strong in this event. Towards the end of this event, I felt like going into the event, Slark was kind of iffy, But the build has been found now. You just don't Midas, don't blink, don't do anything like that. You just go Tread, Shadowblade, Echo Saber into Silver Edge, and then you're a beast.
Yeah, no, that was one of the questions I had for you as well, because you guys came up really big with Slark in a couple of games at Shanghai. And the build has obviously changed since the introduction of Echo Saber and the buff to Silver's Edge, where you get the plus 15 all stats from the Ultimate Orb.
That too. And the game is faster. Like, you really don't want to build this Midas on Slark. I think it's just going to slow you down way too much, and then you lose your timing, and now you're Slark this 5 minutes later that has these items, but you know, these 5 minutes, they matter so much, you know. Now they have too much damage too, so you can't go in anymore, and now you have to play this rat game. And that's not really what you want to do. You want to fight when you get this Shadowblade and this Echo Saber, because you're actually incredibly strong. So I think we're going to see that build. I think that's pretty straightforward nowadays. Dragon Knight.
Yeah, Dragon Knight picked Disruptor banned. Not a huge surprise. It is the most picked hero of the event right now. You guys were aware of that. It's really crept up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like first group stage, hardly any Disruptor picks. Suddenly, main event, everyone's picking it.
Yeah.
I was very skeptical when I saw Fnatic picking it first phase, but they really got a lot of value out of the hero, zoning fights. You can punish the disengage really hard, and with the new gold mechanics, that killing that top net worth on the enemy team with Glimpse, I mean, that's huge value now.
I mean, you pretty much all Disruptor games, you see this Glimpse value so much, you know, and it's so obnoxious to play against because you have to think about it in all scenarios. When you push a tower, when you defend a tower, when you TP in somewhere, like it's so annoying to deal with, and it's incredibly strong. So, yeah.
I'm a little concerned for Liquid. They don't have a way of dealing with Slark. They have just one crush to
Yeah,
stun him.
but they do have these melee cores that.
I mean, their heroes are very tanky.
Yeah, they are.
But if this game goes maybe to the 30-minute mark, and Liquid still has, or LGD maybe has one tier 2,
I mean,
they're in good shape.
I think the Oracle pick is really crucial for Liquid, because right now LGD cannot really initiate, because they have these 3 melee guys who are very hard to kill, and then they want to blink lasso a guy, Oracle Ultimate comes in immediately. And then what do they actually have to fight with, you know?
Yeah, sure,
so
but what if the Oracle Ultimate has to be used before?
Not sure, but I mean, it's gonna come down to the laning phase a lot here, because it depends on how much Ricky gets done and how good of a game Batrider gets. I think.
This lifesteal Oracle lane is pretty scary.
And there's your solution.
That's the Slark solution.
There's your
this is actually one of my favorite heroes to play against Slark, because Slark is one of the only heroes in Dota with 1800 night vision, and it ruins this hero, because now you're playing a Slark and you don't have this night vision, and it's actually gigantic. Because usually you're running around, you're dodging sentries because you're seeing heroes before they see you, which means when you have the Shadowblade, it's incredibly hard to catch you. But now that you can't see anything, you're going to maybe just run into them. You're running into this Ricky with a gem, or like running into a sentry, and you don't even know who's there.
Yeah, and we've seen, right, the 4 position, especially in the last couple of games, has just been such a crucial role. The plays Crypt made in that last series were just absolutely outstanding.
Yeah.
You know, they're asking a lot of Jerax here in terms of he's responsible for controlling a lot, providing them vision, being a solution to the Slark, but you know, he's been in this position before and delivered.
I mean, the last time Liquid had this Night Stalker, right, the Kuro ended up
maybe Timber Saw.
Kuro ended up with more farm than the Slardar.
Yes.
In terms of value, that's a pretty good pick, I'd say.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
4 melee strength heroes for Timber.
Okay. Just final thoughts, Alan? What do you think, draft-wise?
I think this is a very even draft. I like LGD's concept, but I think Liquid knows how to execute with this lineup. Fata is one of the original team-oriented tanky Dragon Knights, invented the mech build on this hero. I'm going to go Liquid.
All right. Boys, what do you do?
It's hard. I wonder it depends on what the Night Stalker does and what the Ricky does in terms of laning phase, because Night Stalker can't really buy Iron Talon against the Ricky. You don't really want to do that. So is he going to go with the Slaughter off lane? Like, it's going to be interesting to see. I think I think this is the game LGD takes.
There's no money on this.
I know. I think this is the game LGD takes.
Okay.
LGD.
Yeah.
For sure. Like 80% to 80-20 odds, I'd say.
Really?
Yeah,
That's strong. Okay. Some strong
I'm a fan of this draft.
All right, okay. Some strong feelings from the DC boys here on the draft panel. We'll hand it over to the commentators for game 1 now. Kappa and Milini.
That's right, LGD versus Team Liquid. Liquid, of course, ever since their drop to the lower bracket, have had a relatively good run, but they face up against their toughest opponent yet, LGD. We'll see who wins in game number 1.
Team Liquid versus LGD Gaming.
And here we are, the last pick you could see on the screen there from Team Liquid, the Night Stalker for Kuro, and another interesting pick, the Oracle. Ben, are you a big fan of the Oracle? As a counter to the Batrider, there was other heroes that they had available, such as the Vengeful Spirit, but they chose for this support that hasn't had a great win rate this patch.
In general, I like it. I think I prefer Jarex on heroes that can move around a little bit more, his Earth Spirit in particular. Something strange has happened in his early games. Maybe cut down a lot of trees to the north of his T1 tower. He cut down about 6 or 7 trees with his Quelling Blade. Not sure what that's about.
September is getting a lot of information. It was something interesting, the September pickup of the Riki for LGD, something that LGD hasn't run much before. In fact, primarily a Western hero to start with, but even ever since this event, I was actually watching some of September's pubs, and he's been spamming this one out, trying to get a hold of it. Top lane, maybe, will be able to pick up that boundary rune for himself on the Timbersaw. Slardar unable to intercept there. Mind Control doing what he can, but unfortunately unable to get that early advantage to Father's Dragonite.
And as Misery mentioned, Kuro probably unlikely to go for the Iron Talon build because of the Riki, and he is going to start off top, I believe, with the Stout Shield and support the starter in lane. It's a little bit too dangerous for him to Iron Talon jungle in this situation.
It does make sense, particularly if the Riki is going to be roaming towards mid at all. This does leave a rather squishy support of the Rubik up at that top lane, something that the Slardar and the Night Stalker can definitely abuse while the Slark is lower level. We're going to have a quick pause here and take a look at some of our other lanes, such as the Dragonite versus the Timbersaw mid. Now, this is something, Ben, you actually called out as the last pick of LGD. What do you think really makes a Timbersaw pick for them work so well in this lineup?
4 strength heroes and armor being particularly useful. They don't have too much magic damage.
So a lot of pure damage into the table as well as against a lot of strength heroes.
It's really good versus mass armlets. And they might want to limit their armlets. They could potentially get 3, possibly 4. I highly doubt Night Stalker will get it, so 3 max.
That reactive armor definitely could come into play if we start pushing this late, but that's something that is kind of already written just via the draft, that LGD should be able to have the better late game if they push this far enough with both the Slark and the Timbersaw, who's obviously a pretty decent counter to many of these heroes. So what is it that Liquid have to do to be able to secure the early game? Obviously, they've got the kind of lineup that takes objectives, but what's the first step?
Shut down Batrider. We saw how useless the Batrider can be with low amounts of farm. The 20-minute blink on KP just kind of losing them the game, I would say, with no impact on that hero. So if they can limit the Batrider's farm or just make them really useless in fights, like a quick DK stun onto them, instant false promise, then they can beat LGD out in the late game.
So you would look towards perhaps Kuro actually rotating to his safe lane as opposed to trying to gank mid. Timbersaw would be a tougher kill anyways.
You don't have to limit his farm by killing him. You can just farm up a Scepter.
Okay. That's fair enough. Vision is definitely going to be a very key component, and that's why Liquid did go for that Night Stalker last pick against a Batrider. The darkness particularly affecting his opportunities to be able to initiate, and the panel move especially already went over the power of being able to have that limited vision against Slark, who is usually rather dependent on it.
I wonder what Liquid's thinking right now.
Probably thinking about how to make their aggro dual lane work the best. Right? This is probably going to be the key part of the first 5 minutes, or rather 4 minutes, as Night Stalker, once it's minute 4, is probably going to rotate out and try and do something a little bit different. But it seems like all the other lanes should go just kind of normal, right? Farming fest between the Dragonite and the Timbersaw. The Batrider is going to be harassed by the Oracle, but shouldn't be completely shut out by any means. So for LGD, the hero to watch in the first 4 minutes is going to be that Riki, while for Liquid, it's got to be this dual lane.
Yeah, it's a game of cat and mouse. Where can the Riki actually hit? Maybe he can get a chicken snipe. All 3 lanes have to worry about his presence.
Well, September is going to try and secure his safe lane first by trying to get some potential action here against Kuro with help of MMY. MMY already going for a single pull. Kuro making sure it's not going to be connected, and the lane will push forward. They get some damage onto Kuro now, but he does have a lot of armor naturally as a hero, so not going to be in that much danger. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, you could already see maybe trying to push his advantage against a strength here with that Whirling Death. Will be able to
to get a good amount of farm himself, but probably won't be able to limit Vada too much.
So Xiao on the bottom has done a really good job of placing really smart wards. The Observer ward blocks the large camp, even though Bat Rider can use it to pull, he's not particularly strong.
Oh, Xiao going to take a lot of damage here, but he's also dishing out as well. They need a few more right clicks to be able to finish him off, and they're going to have to follow him through the flames. Meanwhile, in the top lane, they will be able to pick up that first blood by taking on the Slardar. Looks like they managed to get the full combination between the Slark as well as the Rubik, probably setting it up with telekinesis, and it seems like Kuro, his single target, wasn't enough to deter LGD.
He has a sentry, but not really willing to place it, and the Oracle's kind of stuck in this bottom lane. He can't really stack either of the two camps. He misses sentry on the pool camp, and he can't really zone out a Bat Rider. He's only level 1 right now.
Jarek's not really being given the hero that he would usually shine on, but this is going to be where you look towards your other support, Kuro, to be making all the plays. When he starts rotating around the map, the 2-minute rune's already being taken up, as September is going to see if he can put some pressure now onto mid. Does have his level 2, so he can go for a potential smoke screen play if he wants to, and try and get some extra damage. But Vada, at the full HP, it's just going to be harassment. They don't really have a kill opportunity if they ever want to go mid.
And a little surprisingly, Xiao has already opted to move into the jungle. He picked up his Trinkle Boots, got a full HP, and then went straight to the jungle. But Jarex is still trying to find out where the ward is, and he will get the Observer ward reward.
Looks like he'll get both. So his camps now opened up to him. Should be able to speed along that level 6, which is going to be a critical part of being able to save these heroes, both against the Riki smokescreen, being able to get the false promise in there, as well as against the Bat Rider lasso, probably more important there.
And MMY is denying so many creeps. He's chain pulled, I think, twice now. Xiao coming in from behind.
Yeah, this is kind of an interesting play. Maybe it's because of the fact we have some extra neutrals here. Xiao is now going to try and help out his team. The telekinesis leading the way. Kuro going to be in some serious trouble as he gets pounced on, held in play. Smokescreen is the addition there as Mind Control unable to get off the Slithering Crush, and Xiao is just the extra presence to help soak up the gold and experience. Will be able to farm up those neutrals now, denying that away from Liquid as well.
And Liquid's top lane is just a disaster. They really need farm with this Night Stalker, but he's busy trying to prevent this Slardar from getting destroyed in lane. They did have Observer ward scouting out Xiao, but again, they're constantly wondering where this Riki is.
We hit that 4-minute marker, but it seems unlikely our Night Stalker is going to be effective without the necessary levels. He doesn't even have the silence yet against the Timber Saw, which would be a critical way to be able to provide a kill for Vada. They're going to pick up the bounty rune at bottom, but nothing really going to be seen here in the bottom half of the map. Kuro, maybe he's looking to be able to find Xiao, but he's not here. He's busy farming up the jungle, now heading back to base. Looks like we're going to be seeing that drums build, perhaps, as he's already got the early win lace.
So now they're just sacking top lane, trying to play the catch-up in XP as Kuro farms the jungle as Xiao is.
So leave Mind Control alone against a rather dangerous lane. The telekinesis set up into the Slark pounce. Now that Slark actually has some levels on him, his nukes are particularly dangerous. Slardar only really going to be able to soak experience of his top lane at best. The aggressive wards being laid down by LGD are a nice start. We just saw a mid ward being placed very close to that tier 1 tower, getting information on potential rotation of the Night Stalker.
Doesn't catch those two supports sitting behind.
But it will see them the moment they go for this pounce, but it might be a little bit too slow for maybe to be able to get out. They lead with the Void, be able to follow up with the silence. Maybe, though, does have that reactive armor, plus the supports come into play. It's not quite enough, though. He does end up going down, and MMY and Sep will back themselves away, knowing the fight is lost as soon as their Timber Saw dies. The choice of actually going for only one level of reactive armor may have cost him his life there, obviously wanting to be able to keep up the pressure with maxed out Whirling Death against a melee strength hero like the Dragon Knight.
Very patient play from Liquid. They do this very often when they're on Radiant side, just sit to the right of the T1 and wait for a play. But that time they didn't have to wait so long.
Searching for the Courier. Sep is not going to find it. He's going to try and scout out some of the more heroes in the mid lane, as Night Stalker is going to try and take this opportunity to get some solo experience while the Dragon Knight secures the rune.
The one good thing for LGD there is they didn't take that much damage from the Dragon Knight onto the tower. He just went into the jungle a little bit at Wiki, soaked up a lot of experience, and Jarek's playing very efficiently in the safe lane, rotating mid for that one kill, pushed Xiao out of the lane, and he's level 4 after getting both of those E wards.
Mind Control's finally getting some CS on himself as the lane does
There's a
push
smoke
out.
from MMY, Xiao 8. Just hit level 6 and will pick up Lasso at that time.
I like this simply because of the fact that they just give Mind Control a little bit of space to work because he sees the Rubik mid not so long ago, and he thinks, okay, it's just me against the Slardar. May not be expecting a fast rotation like this when the smoke is going to pop from Xiao Wei, but may still be able to get the lasso. He's actually out of mana. Slithering Crush goes down, and now it's up to MMY to be able to lead with the telekinesis, follow up, tosses him back, should be able to hit the pounce. Mind Control hoping to be able to juke it out, but they are patient. LGD hold on to it. Just knowing that the Slardar will burn out inside the flames, MMY is the one to pick up the last hit with Fate Bolt.
That almost didn't pay off for LGD. Their Observer Ward just expired. They knew that Slardar was around the area. I really like that move by Xiao Wei. His smoke popped, and then he waited for the Slardar to come into melee range of him. And Mind Control a little bit too fast for the crush, but eventually they do snag a kill.
One of the great things about having a Riki and sometimes a Bounty Hunter is knowing that you're always able to rotate your offlaner out and start being aggressive and ganking, and you can always move that forward position to the bottom lane, unlikely to be ganked, can get that solo experience to speed up critical level 6. Now he's going to be scouting out both Jarex and Kuro as they make their way through September. And September's actually gotten so much information from all these wards.
Oh, Radiant uses scan. Let's see if Riki walks into it. He will.
Oh, and now they have the opportunity to blow the dust if they want to, but they're actually going to play scared here. Probably makes sense. They might not have wanted to take a fight right next to a tier 1 tower like that.
But Seth gets the immediate D ward over there.
Yeah.
Smart scan usage by them. Unfortunately, they don't really have the kill potential on them. And first night, LGD kind of escaped by freely with Night Stalker just trying to catch up in his levels. Only level 5 at the moment.
That all comes down to a harsh laning phase for Liquid. That top lane not going nearly as well as it should have. And as a result, a slow start for Liquid. LGD just continuing to try and be disruptive.
Seth just waiting to pop a smoke because he sees 2 on Jarex.
Yeah. Aggressive. Starts pushing the Slardar back. Will be able to do this continual push the lane forward and then bounce over to the jungle as well. One of the nice things about the Slark.
They're not pressuring the Bat Rider at all. He's already at 1,700 gold, picking up an infused raindrop after the Tranquil Boots. And I think that's going to be a pretty good time for LGD. They haven't had to deal with any threat from the Dragon Knight yet. No Midas coming out on any of their heroes. There's an armlet up.
The first of potentially many. See if the Dragon Knight's going to follow
Wei
suit.
flying
Yeah,
in
he
from
does.
behind.
Trying to go for it. Z will be able to potentially get Mind Control here. The Slithering Crush will be able to stop Xiao Wei, but he's been caught by the pounce. He needs the rest of his team to now come in, and they will be able to return fire onto Xiao Wei, getting some nuke damage from Jarex. Follow up Kuro with the Void, but the burn sensation there. Too much for Liquid. They can't quite pursue. They're going to have to leave that lane alone, forcing TPs just to defend their offlane.
And it looks like LGD will still have the initiation edge over Liquid as long as they keep this Slardar under farm. There's no really good vehicles for the Infest aside from the Blink Slardar sitting at 1150, so it is very high priority that they protect.
Another TP in. They're going to have the lifesteal. They're trying to save Fada, and they will be able to bail him out. In fact, they're going to be able to get the kill onto the Bat Rider. Searching for more, but the rest of LGD should still be safe. They can try and pressure this tier 1 tower, but unlikely. Maybe he's going to be able to stand behind it and just chalk him the creeps down.
And all Liquid.
Oh, raindrop? Hello. Okay, that one's going to be snagged away by September.
All of Liquid very good at helping out each other. Matoma Man knowing his other lanes haven't gone too well. DK not too much damage on T1. Slardar getting pressured a lot by the Riki as well as the Bat Rider and helping his team out.
Okay,
Nice.
can't say I've seen the Infest stolen too many times by Rubik, but we're going to see how it works here with the combination of the Riki moving around. Actually going to head down to bottom lane.
They can't kill Matoma Man.
Yeah, they need an extra hero to guarantee this kill, and even then it's kind of hard. It's just one of those heroes that is very low percentage gank. He gets off the right rage, it's all over. So instead they're going to go top lane, much easier kill, Mind Control. One telekinesis, we've seen it time and time again. It's all that's needed for aggressive to be able to pick up the kill.
And Liquid have to feel a little bit safe right now because they just killed the Bat Rider, so they know his Blink Dagger is not going to come out for another minute or two.
Yeah.
So his supports will probably start moving towards those T1s around the 12-minute mark. That's when they expect the Bat Rider to get his Blink Dagger. He's been missing a long time and has not shown his face bottom for the last 7 or 8 minutes.
Really good patience here from Mind Control. He seems to have sensed something was up. Not even going for these creeps underneath the tier 1. Plays it patiently, knowing that his Blink Dagger, that timing is obviously quite key, as he wants to be able to have it for that second nighttime. And while he needs a few more CS to be able to pick that one up, he can't afford to die for it. Fana is going to be the choice instead. They finally managed to get the Infest Bomb out. Is it going to be enough, though? The armor of Fana is going to work. Curl now pops the darkness. It is going to try and fight with the help of Jarex. They will be able to get a slowdown on Maybe, but they can't actually play offensively, just saving Fana's life, trying to get him back up to full as he continues to farm away into that armor.
However, the False Promise was just used, and Xiao Wei does have his Blink Dagger, and he is not smoked up, but with the False Promise on cooldown, he can go on whomever he wants.
It's nighttime though. September is going to be able to spot out that Fada picks up an invis room. More wards being laid down.
Yeah, Dire seems to have much better vision.
Big advantage of the Riki. Note that every single ward you place is unlikely to get scouted, and he can really get some deep ones. That has been hindering the movement. They will be able to scout him out, though. The counter ward being laid out, unable to get off the smoke screen, it seems, as the Void comes through. That small little mini stun stopping his play. And they will now take that tier 1 tower. Great read there from Jarex.
Great usage of the ultimate by Night Stalker. He kind of forced Bat Rider into a pretty scared position, and Riki also couldn't see anyone because of the darkness. Free T1 for Liquid.
Well, that's going to be a start on the grind back here for the Liquid boys, but they did obviously lose mind control at the same time.
And everyone's heading down bottom. Fada, under the guise of invisibility, will not be seen by that Observer Ward, and Sep may be in for a rude surprise.
Smoke screen is one of the best ways to be able to ensure a kill onto a Lifestealer, and you see it in play here. The instant silence, no opportunity to be able to respond. Now Fada has come in with his Invis rune, but unfortunately his Lifestealer's down. And now he has to wait for extra reinforcements, not just the Slardar. They need Kuro as the Night Stalker too, but the Invis, or rather the Dragon form, is now faded, and the Invis is about to as well. They scout out Fada. They're going to go for the kill. They're actually going to go for the support in the background. They want to be able to blow up Jarex, at least force that False Promise onto himself. Liquid are split. They're going to go for the support. He managed to get off the False Promise, goes for the immediate TP out, and now the game we play, Maybe, is going to be able to come in with the extra nukes. He's going to try and pop some of these heroes of Liquid, but they're too damn tanky, and they're just going to be able to focus down aggressive immediately. They're taking a lot of AoE damage in the process, though. Maybe might just be able to clean this whole entire fight up with his teammates as Fada is forced to fight this one out. Gets the Dragon Tail onto Maybe, continues to get some damage. Slithering Crush comes in. Mind control, can't stop the fight, though. Xiao Wei controls Matumba Man, pulls him away. 3 loss from LGD. The rest will escape. Liquid, thanks to the Infest Bomb, will be able to turn that one around. Fada turns and fights and baits it beautifully.
Timbersaw missed so many of his spells there. He trapped himself in the trees after the first chain. I think he missed a Whirling Death that would have finished off Dragon Knight, which would have made it relatively even for LGD. But Liquid, better execution in a team fight, and will retain their gold advantage. And it's unusual to see the Slark double down on the invisibility. Generally, when you have a Riki on your team, you're very scared of the opposing team get a gem, and you like to vary up your tools of initiation. One guy with Shadow Blade, one guy with Invis, and I guess the Bat Rider coming out with Blink will be enough for them.
Do you put enough value on the Silver Edge's break against some of these passive abilities? Do you think it's not worth it?
I think it's really good versus Dragon Knight.
Okay.
However, they do have the Timbersaw, which doesn't really need a break.
Right.
So
that's a good point.
It does make him more tanky. It's nice and cheap for him.
Yeah. Liquid continuing to try and keep the pressure up. They throw down a random dust, not actually scouting out Sep, though. He's sitting on the Radiant side here. Just scouting some of the movement and getting LGD a free tower in the process because of that. He knows like 3 or 4 heroes grouped up mid. He just tells his teammates to sit back. Don't actually show in the mid lane. We're just going to try and pressure the side lanes while Liquid kind of waste their time.
Slark kind of hunting for Jarex over here.
They get the instant smoke screen. Jarex won't even have the opportunity for a False Promise. There goes the silence. Burst damage, not enough. He managed to get off the False Promise. Now the turnaround. Another Infest Bomb, aggressive. He gets the ultimate off, but he's being body blocked up. Won't be able to get the pounce away. Liquid, who's pouncing who? LGD lose 2, and now Liquid go for the tier 1 atop.
And that's the second time they've tried to initiate like that. The blink and the smoke screen, but Jarex way too quick. He just escapes the area of the smoke screen and just false promise. He could false promise TP or just false promise and stand there while his teammates wait for them to arrive. So they have to be much better about the initiation. This is even going for a max smoke screen on the Riki.
LGD, no, they can't really stop that top lane without their Slark, so they're just going to try and pressure bottom, see if they can go for a trade-off here. Maybe able to do the wave clear while his allies clean up the jungle. It's double armlets and now a Shadow Blade going to come into play for the Dragon Knight. Better avenues of initiation for Liquid now, but still have to deal with this Riki. Now, Riki, his period of time of being effective, though, is only going to last so long against a Night Stalker. Inevitably, you're going to see an Aghanims and Gems, so September needs to try and get his team as much advantage. Counter ward laid out. He counters it. And no play there from Liquid. Perhaps just scared that more members are going to show up. Meanwhile, they have Dragon Knight initiating onto mid. The Force Staff away. Xiao Wei gets himself some distance away from Mind Control, who's coming in with the Lifestealer in tow.
And it's a different kind of play from the Bat Rider. He did have the blink very early, but didn't go for that one kill, except for the slaughter, which he just waited for a little bit. Oh, is he going to walk into a sentry ward right here?
They see him, but again.
But the Bat Rider's very farm. He has the most CS on the Dire side.
They're going to go for it now. Immediately, though, pops the ultimate, cancels it, and then manages to get the blink strike away. September may still be caught, though. Throws out the smoke screen, taking a lot of magic damage there from Jerix. Just needs a little bit more. The heals are going to come through, though. Curl actually pops the void, but now we have all that Purifying Flames heal coming into play. Aggressive, though, has been scared away by the rest of Liquid. Now they have the initiation, but the Bat Rider gets popped. Couldn't even pull Matamba Man. Maybe he's going to be up next. The Chakram not doing enough work, or maybe it does. He gets the Night Stalker, turns it around, gets it too. Can he get away, though? Fada just one-shots him with the Shadow Blade amplified damage. The physical damage manages to rip the Timber Saw asunder, and now they're going to be able to get more. September not able to make it out. They get the Courier and the Little Dog too. Riki goes down 2 for 3 to the favor of Liquid.
LGD just have no good source of initiation. It seemed like they didn't have enough control for the Slark, but he was almost dead before the fight even started. Xiao Wei, he got his lasso, and then he got immediately bursted down by the Purifying Flames. The Lifestealer is way too strong at this point.
We are hitting a big peak now for Liquid. Every single nighttime should be a go for them to be able to take more map control, potentially some objectives. And it's all going to be up the pickoffs of Slark and Bat Rider together, it seems, to try and even out the advantage that Liquid are holding on to. They're still going to make the blink in. Xiao Wei not actually having a lasso. What is this? He's going to try and get the Force Staff away, and it will be enough. They actually forced a couple of TPs.
They really want to fight when Darkness isn't up. A couple of the last fights has been really difficult for them because of Kuro's ultimate, but they only have 50 seconds left before 20, and another nighttime will fall. But I don't think they're going to be able to catch anything. Liquid just going to wait until their ultimates are up. No Dragon Form for them. No Darkness.
Sitting 4-man, Matamba Man, even just farming up neutrals, not showing himself anywhere. And right as nighttime is about to come to fruition, they're going to try and get the gank onto Aggressive. Comes in, misses the slithering crush, though, and the invis away from Aggressive. Not quite what they had in mind with that smoke, but haven't wasted the infest yet. LGD should know that is part of the Slardar initiation, though. They're going to run right past Sep, who's going to be able to get the information, pass it along to his allies, and back away from that bottom lane as needed. Runs through the counter ward, observer ward combination. Now the Riki sacrifice, just like that. And Liquid, they got their pick off. Where do they turn to, though? They're going to try and go for an early Roshan with the amplified damage. They go for the tier 1 tower. Feels like tier 1 is the safer play at this point.
I think they know that LGD are going to make a move because they're just getting outfarmed and outplayed at every team fight.
Right.
So they're pretty desperate at this point.
Yeah, speaking of farm, top 2 net worth by quite a margin. They're actually going to see Xiao Wei blink for blink. Mind control, not going to be fast enough. Aggressive starts making its way in through with the Shadow Blade, but we have plenty of counter wards laid down in the past. Still going to play this one scared. Dragon Knight going to pop the Dragon Form and Shadow Blade. See if he can get the initiation. They scout out this TP in. Tier 2 counter ward laid out.
That Sentry Ward does not see that Observer, though.
That's going to be pretty unfortunate, not realizing that they are vulnerable now. Even maybe could get caught if he gets silenced up, but he backs himself away to the tier 2. The dust goes out, not good, as they miss out there. Liquid just get the tier 1 tower, it seems, and maybe calling it a day. No, they're actually going to go back in. While it's still nighttime, they might as well. Cannon Ward laid out, Zhao Wei looking for its initiation. He's got to be careful, though. As he jumps in, Mind Control is going to try and counter-initiate, but misses his Slithering Crush again.
Neither team looks like they want to fight right now. Liquid, they've kind of weathered the storm with an early game Riki threat, and he is very poor at this moment. He's at 5 deaths right now, and I think Nightstalker has more than caught up from suffering in the early dual lane at the start.
Yeah.
And now the Riki is very useless, even without the gem.
So with that, Firefly on cooldown, they're going to try and sneak in a Roshan here. This is rather risky. Firefly is about to come back up.
Way to use scan, they saw Xiao 8 and Rubik.
Well now, whoa, that is actually one hell of a flame break. It pushed Matamba Man up onto the cliff. They're now trying to heal him up. He's going to rage TP out, but this is an opportunity for a jump. They will immediately, false promise as he gets brought down to earth, but can they actually finish him off? The jump in there. Mind Control trying to create some space. Matamba Man is healing himself up, but Mind Control is now going to be caught underneath the smoke screen. They try and get the silence out, but Aggressive gets off the Dark Pact as well as his ultimate, starts going to town. Already taking out the Lifestealer, goes for Fada next. TP away, not in time, and oh my god! Blink in from Mind Control, he instantly disappears like a magician. 3 down, LGD go for the 4th, and Kuro, that's going to be full 5-man wipe just like that. The Roshan. Not the play, it seems, for Liquid as they give up their advantage they had built. 5 heroes down, a Roshan dead, and Aegis going the way of LGD.
Wow, that's one of the best individual plays I've seen this tournament. That play from Xiao 8 right there with the flame break onto the high ground. They had vision of him with that Observer Ward and saw Roshan beating on him. They had to blow so many cooldowns. They had to blow the Fate's Edict on him immediately, and he had a rage after he was lassoed down to the low ground, and that will be, what, 5 heroes, Roshan, and Aegis.
Yeah, you could just see that precipitous drop there of both gold and experience from Liquid in the graphs. Every bit advantage that they had racked up over the last 10 minutes or so is all given away in an instant.
And I think that Liquid didn't have sentries near the left side of the pit. Yeah. The Riki was like kind of hiding around that area, trying to see what Liquid were up to. And gave Batrider the information to go in there.
Let's not forget 16 Bloodstone charges on Baby now. So he is a very happy camper.
Still need some more armor on the Dire side.
Yeah.
Especially when you're dealing with Amp. Yule Scepter pretty good at counter-initiating a Slardar, dispelling Amp from himself. But not too many ways to deal with like a Dragon Knight stun into just Lifestealer popping out, or the Slardar Infest Bomb like we've seen a couple of times. I guess that's what Aegis is for.
LGD, I mean, this is really their time to strike. They have an Aegis, it's daytime. They just won a really big fight.
Yeah, that has to boost their confidence a lot. They're like, okay, we haven't been able to get a good jump on them, but now they know they can actually fight them. Now they have the items to fight, and they've instilled a lot of fear into Liquid.
Liquid, perhaps part of their plan here. They're going to jump forward, manage to jump on him, maybe see if they can burst him down with the amplified damage, and they almost get him. Yule Scepter goes off. They actually stop that one. They will be able to get the suicide, though. Thanks to that Yule Scepter save, Curl looks for more. And
wow, Jarex was really quick with that purge.
Yeah. Manages to get off that Fortune's End, but it doesn't really matter, the Bloodstone suicide. And now they're going to be able to grab Jarex, it seems. False Promise goes for maybe a TP out. He's held in by the smoke screen, slowed down enough that the rest of the LGD will start coming through. Maybe makes his big entrance as he comes back into play, hoping to be able to refresh those Bloodstone charges on one, on Jarex, and Kuro, as he runs on through, is going to give another one to maybe.
And it's just sticking around there way too long. They desperately want to hold on to their T1 tower, but they just do not have the firepower at this point, and they needed their side lanes pushed out.
Courier picked off. Matamba Man, he's going to be caught as well. Zhao Wei is able to get the lasso. His rage is going to wear out, and as soon as that's done, nice Slithering Crush, but the telekinesis there, keeping Matamba Man in place. LGD, you give them one opening, and they seem to make you pay so damn badly. 12-17. We were talking about late game for LGD, but it seems like we're already there. LGD out executing Liquid in these fights are now going to be able to take control of the map themselves, taking a tier 2 at the bottom lane, and can start focusing from there to perhaps look towards mid.
At this point, I don't think they have the resources to protect their precious Oracle. Oracle needs to survive in these fights so that Batrider can't do his thing. But when you have a Riki and a Slark and a Timbersaw, there's too many threats for them to deal with. Dragonite can control one, but they need mass BKBs to deal with the Timbersaw's output of damage, unless they can burst them down early in the fight. But LGD will probably be looking for that. Rubik sitting behind can get the quick lift onto them perhaps, and I think both sides need a gem at this point. One side to deal with the Shadow Blade initiation from the Dragonite, the other one to spot out the Slark and the Riki. So there's a gem on my control right now.
At the very least, for the next 2 minutes, they're going to have to play passive and just search for pickoffs. Man, they're really going to try and fight this one into an Aegis. Minute and a half left. They are going to find some of these wards. It's funny how Riki's ward placed inside the base is so aggressive that the gem isn't going to be able to scout it out yet.
So now they should only have like Slark in a position where if he dies, they're going to have to blow a lot of cooldowns. Hopefully the BKB coming out from the Dragonite as well as Infest Pop, and Slaughter is the target that you're looking for. He doesn't have BKB, he doesn't have any strength items. He only has 1200 HP as a strength hero, so he's just going to melt to the Timbersaw. He has some armor from the Tranquil Boots, but I don't really see him surviving. And if you get the false promise on him, then everyone on Liquid will fall like pins.
Not the right direction, it seems. Sep is able to stay one step ahead of this Slardar and his gem. If they ever scouted the Riki, he would almost instantly be dead with a crush into the Infest pop out. But he's getting the information without getting picked off. And LGD will enjoy some time farming up. They're actually going to go for the smoke. 3-man smoke from them. And Aggressive can join them if he wants to with the Silver Edge.
They have a small window until nighttime's up, just 15 seconds. I don't think Liquid can wait that long, though.
Liquid's going to stay on the high ground here, but the whole wraparound from LGD may be able to catch them out. They're going to make the initiation. Pops MMY immediately. No play from him here in this fight, but they already get off the false promise as well, stopping that lasso. They kill the Oracle, but is it going to be worth it? Is now the 3 cores of Liquid still looking healthy. They turn on to Aggressive, hoping to be able to force out that Aegis. Instead, they realize, let's just kill maybe with the amplified damage on him instead. That's going to be the play. Riki jumps over to the Slark, hoping to be able to make this great escape here, but they're focusing on Aggressive, and they're taking him out too. They manage to find Sep as he moves to the left-hand side, but Mind Control knows better. They get him, keep the gem in play, and take away the gem of LGD as well.
And MMY did not get the memo. Not sure why he didn't move up to the left side. I think he felt like he was too far behind, so he needed to go up that hill. But
whoa, what is this? Hello, maybe. Talking about not getting the memos, did you not read that Liquid will fight you? Maybe desperate to go for a split push in the bottom lane, may just be caught here. Gets a lot of damage onto Liquid. They have the amplified damage on him. They get every bit of information needed, but they're not going to try and fight him. They're actually going to try and TP away, and that is the right play, especially with MMY not far off.
If maybe he can survive that initial burst, he can do a lot of damage, but right now he doesn't have any armor without reactive armor. The problem is you have to stay alive for 5-10 seconds until you get max stacks up. But that was exactly what Liquid were looking for, someone to walk into range of that Observer and Sentry Ward combination. And without the Rubik in the fight and the Aegis expiring very close to before Slark was going to die, I'm not sure why he popped the Shadow Dance before the Aegis. Maybe just wanted to burst down a target. That was a clearly lost fight for LGD.
So Ben, would you say that amplified damage is pretty good against Timbersaw then?
It's all right. Once he gets the Shivas, he'll be fine.
We were having an argument about this during the drafting phase.
Yeah.
We're going to see Liquid keep on going, though. 4-man, they're going to be scouted out by the ward. And because they still don't have that Axe, they don't actually have the uphill vision to know that
Timbersaw's not there, and he doesn't have BOTs.
Yeah, they've just got to go full-on escape here. Can't set a trap or anything like that, so they back themselves away to the hard top side of the map, and maybe will head towards bottom, where he knows he at least has a few seconds to be able to farm that up. Of course, Liquid, they did scout him out with the ward, and they're going to try and cut him. Let's see if maybe gets a little bit greedy, though. He does have an invis room, but that's obviously not going to protect him against the gem. He hides himself in the trees. Again, another situation where the Aghanims would make all the difference for this Night Stalker. They're getting close. Smoke, it pops. Maybe gets a TP away, though. Mind Control goes for the blind blink in stun, but He was just living on a prayer there.
And that's a lot of space created. That's not really expected from Liquid. They have the option to, let's say, farm for the Scepter. They're only 900 gold away from that. They could farm for BKBs and deal with the Timbersaw that way, but instead they're making very aggressive moves. They want to protect the Roche. They want to fight Liquid or fight LGD while they don't have the gem right now, and fight while it's still nighttime. However, they won't get the prize that they're looking for.
Got the BKB on the Dragonite. AC completed for the Lifestealer as well.
Aggressive's hot on his tail.
Yeah, but again, they really kill Fana. Maybe if they manage to get the Silver Edge hit on him, they could force out at least the BKB charge. But I don't think they can actually burst Fana down.
They need Timbersaw and Batrider there, but none of them are there. And Timbersaw now has his plate mail, so maybe a little bit more resistant to that Blink Crush from Mind Control, and Mind Control heading around the pit. It will be a fairly long respawn, 2 minutes, 36 seconds.
He really needs that Force Staff for Mind Control, just to be able to get in and out of the smoke screen or even help his allies do so.
So both teams trying to eliminate the supports very early on in the fight. Right. If Rubik dies, LGD will lose the fight. If Oracle dies before False Promise,
jump in immediately with the Silver Edge. They might be able to pop Fana before they actually have Jarek to be able to get the False Promise save. Fana a little bit more time, and he got it. Just in time, BKB goes off, and they now fight away. Fana knows he's definitely dead once this is done for, so he's just going to try and get as much damage on the Slark as possible, and it might just be enough. It is indeed a three-man crush from Mind Control. Keep on going. They look for more, but LGD get the last two out. It doesn't matter, though. Liquid have won the fight, and they're going to be able to take Tier 2 on top.
Just not enough damage from LGD. They were so close to popping them before the False Promise.
Liquid, ever since that Roshan fight, thought LGD was going to be able to actually get some control and keep Liquid from being on the offensive, but their lineup just isn't fully ready to go yet. They still need another 10 minutes or so before you can see that Slark start taking over the game alongside maybe. You're going to start drawing out these BKB charges as well.
And Jarek is just able to make so many plays. He doesn't have any items right now. No Blink, no mobility, just Arcane Boost, not even Aether Lens at this point, but in the right place at the right time with only 3 deaths out of 19. Very nice play from him.
Considering how he's target number 1 for Slark, sometimes the Batrider, the Timbersaw would like to be able to burst him down as well.
So
Jarek's pretty admirable.
I think Liquid did a really good job of pressuring the Timbersaw. They killed him a few times with the Infest Bomb. Yeah. They've gotten his Bloodstone charges down to 6. And because he's forced to go for the defensive build, the Shivas, as opposed to, let's say, a more offensive build like the Blink Dagger, right, that led to Dragonite not dying in that particular engagement. So a lot of small things add up, and looks like Aggressive going for a solo kill. Doesn't know if any of those gem bears are behind him.
So dangerous. He really thinks he can just get Jarek alone. Well, he might just be able to. Leads with a pounce. False Promise does go down. TP out. Sticks around a bit too long, and now the pop out. Oh, God. Aggressive, too aggressive. As that was very clearly never going to work out for him.
And Jarek does not even pop inside the fountain.
No, not even close. So now they can turn towards Roshan rather easily with 50 seconds on the clock until Aggressive is back up.
And I think LGD need another miracle from Xiao Wei if they want to salvage this fight.
Looks like they're not even going to try. Maybe try and get a pick off of the Tier 2 at the top lane. But they know this amp damage allows them to be able to clear through Roshan too quickly. TPN, Dragonite going to come in with his Shadow Blade active.
No gem though. It's on Slardar.
Yeah. Slardar is going to try and cut across through the jungle, see if he can get someone with the help of Kuro leading the way. Does have that Ags gem combination.
Yeah, there's not that much they can do. Darkness and both gems on Liquid. One on Night Stalker, one on Slardar. There's just not really that many moves that the Leaky and the Slark can make. Maybe Batrider can get a pick at this point, but he's the only one that can kill someone before they pop their BKBs. Rubik's disable is just not long enough.
Yeah. It does mean there's a lot more to be won if LGD can get another one of those big team wipes, but Liquid feeling very confident with themselves, should always be able to get the initiation with the vision advantage that they have, and their heroes are really at their strongest.
Mind Control's been doing a really good job of being at the right place at the right time. How many times has he TP'd in to save someone, or just been there even far out from a tower to blink and crush with Matamba Man inside of him to get a return kill? He's been so crucial to Liquid's lead.
I feel like he's gotten more 3-man crushes than he has 1-man crushes. LGD, 4-man smoked up behind maybe, assuming that Liquid are going to try and rotate to catch him out.
Smoke will reveal Liquid's positioning, and LGD trying to wait for them to come out in a bad spot and for those supports to be very vulnerable, but they're in formation.
10 seconds until nighttime. If you're going to try and take this fight, you got to take it now. As LGD, so aggressive, moves forward, tries to get the scout out, but he does get crushed up, almost gets taken out, but managed to get the Dark Pact off, and now into his ultimate. Starts right-clicking onto Matumba Man, but Matumba Man doesn't care one bit. He's going to go for the Bat Rider, and now LGD realize they have to bail. Going to be aggressive, trying to flee as he's got the Silver Edge in a few more seconds. Dark Pact, oh, just barely outside of the crush. Now runs himself away. The Infest Bomb's not going to be able to find him. They do at least get the Void onto MMY, stopping his TP away. Will be able to get that kill, but they're still chasing aggressive. Not going to be good enough, though. The crush does manage to get off that slithering crush and will be able to get himself away. MMY did end up going down. Bigger bounty definitely would have been that Slark, but still, Liquid win the fight. We'll be able to take yet another objective. The classic transition for Liquid from team fight to objective.
Matumba Man
time again.
Just so far, he just annihilated Bat Rider during his BKB. He tied him like 3 or 4 hits with his recently acquired Abyssal.
What are they doing here? They really think they could take on maybe? Maybe they can. TP out, and they have nothing to stop that one. Meanwhile, that bottom lane did start getting pressured, but as soon as they reveal 2 at the top, they know they have to back out. LGD would try and jump on that opportunity, having the numbers advantage at bottom.
And now Liquid have their necessary items to win every team fight if they're in position, if they can't get to the Oracle, or if Lifestealer can pop his Rage. They have the Ags, they have multiple gems, they have BKBs now, and the Abyssal on Lifestealer. So every member is just relatively strong compared to the LGD's counterpart. And it's very difficult for LGD to find any sort of clean initiation on them.
Feels like the shoe is kind of swapped here, where Liquid are kind of, or LGD were in the position that Liquid was at 25 minutes. So the Aegis time, we're talking about like maybe not fighting into them, but the initiation advantage was too great for Liquid. You can see it again. They're going to be able to find aggressive. Holy cow. It is just one-stop shop every single time they jump aggressive. They're able to burst him down so damn quickly. He doesn't have the opportunity for the ult, and they have no saving heroes in that regard from LGD.
Yeah, they just need more armor. Everyone needs more armor. And most of that is vision. Usually Slark is not scared at nighttime. Or shouldn't be, rather.
They're going to push forward. They still have another 45 seconds trying to force that buyback onto the Slark. And if it doesn't come, they're just going to take a tier 3 tower for free.
So they're waiting for Jarex to split far away from one of the heroes so that they can potentially last into the T4s. Right. There is a 4-step on Rubik, so they can get the double 4-step into the T4s.
Slarnar is going to jump forward with his 4-step. Blink goes straight for Zhao Wei, stopping the initiation in his tracks. But LGD, they get a counter 4-step. They are able to get that hero away. Now Matumba Man is forced to fight up against the Slark underneath that ultimate, plus the Chakram. Matumba Man already down to half HP. Shiva's going to slow him down as well, but he managed to get the Abyssal Blade bash, locking down aggressive, and he's down. He bought back, and that's a dieback now as LGD struggled to just use maybe to push Liquid back. Jump in, they managed to get Zhao Wei, but immediate false promise going to stop that one. They didn't even need the ult of Jarex during that last start of the fight. And while they might be able to force Liquid away now, it's going to be at the cost of at least the melee racks. Aegis does fall. Matumba Man's going to go back in for the range one, it seems. There's no reason not to at this point. They may even try and keep on going for the bottom lane of racks. They're all looking pretty damn healthy. Some of their ults are down, such as the Dragon form. But Matumba Man, he's okay with sitting on the front lines. Managed to get the bash onto maybe. Follow-up Slithering Crush. Another bash in play, but the 4-staffs are saving grace here for maybe. Now they can turn onto Kuro. Another 4-staff play, this time from Liquid. Gets Kuro out of the danger zone. Infest up. Zhao Wei blinks forward with his BKB activated. Managed to get the Infest. Jump onto September. Will be able to almost pop him as the Cloak and Dagger managed to get him away with the Blink Strike, but Zhao Wei's not quite as lucky. Gem on the deck. Maybe trying to get run away through the trees. Matumba Man keeps him locked on. They take the tier 3 tower at bottom. Vada focusing on objectives. Matumba Man, meanwhile, the big meat shield on front lines that maybe just can't seem to eat on through. Vada now healthy enough, jumps himself forward, doesn't go for the Dragon Tail just yet. And Now they want to back themselves away. Maybe jumps forward, tries to go for Jarek's. False promise, used there. It's Dragon Tail, cancels Maybe's push forward. Jarek's going to try and get the TP out. Fada will do something similar here. We'll see whether or not Jarek's doesn't even get popped inside the fountain. Gets the full heal and a clean escape there from Liquid.
Again, it is so ridiculous how well Jarek is able to play without any items. He just picked up his Blink Dagger, but he still hasn't died since the last time I talked about him.
A 14,000 gold lead from Liquid. How different this game and how much faster potentially this game could have been if Liquid didn't have that nasty fight around the Roshan. It's pretty intimidating that Liquid made that huge error, and we're still able to come back and are now in quite the lead against LGD in this game one.
I think that's the only large-scale team fight that LGD out-executed Liquid. Most of the time it's like even the mid T3 base defense maybe had missed most of his spells. Rubik like kind of lifted him to the wrong side of Timbersaul's burst when they tried to chain out, and then he missed 3 of his spells as they were trying to kill the Lifestealer. And that's one of the benefits of having Lifestealer. You press your rage, and if they don't kill you before you can pop your rage, your team will most certainly win the fight. And Jarex has had the Oracle plus promise to even aid him in that. And they have incredible amounts of burst. If someone's out of position for half a second, or they get their force staff just a little bit too late, the Slaughter plus Amp plus huge minus armor from the Lifestealer will eat him alive.
We're 42 minutes in. Yes, the Slark will start becoming a terror eventually, but Liquid have definitely delayed this late game threat by being able to force him to buy back in. Has died 7 times in this match. So he is actually quite critically delayed. His net worth sitting at around 15K compared to the 23K of the Lifestealer. Liquid are in very comfortable position, not really pressed for time whatsoever. They can afford to wait on Roshan if they need.
He can't win the BKB wars though. Dragon Knight has a ton of armor, and he has heart on top of it, so he does a lot of damage while being incredibly tanky. And if they get an amp stuck on him during the BKB, even just for a few seconds, the Lifestealer can maul him with the Abyssal Blade.
Yeah.
So the BKB is just purely to survive, and he needs it, and he still might die with it. Whereas Liquid, if they get the B up, they're safe for the entire duration.
So in other words, what Ben is trying to say is there's little hope for LGD, both now as well as in the near future, unless they can get some sort of miracle team fight and start turning this net worth advantage.
Yeah, before
around.
Maybe they could have gotten a lift on Slaughter as he was blinking in, but now that he is BKB, there's very little hope for LGD.
Which is why LGD is just trying to stall for time with Slark pushing out the top lane, but Liquid not going to give it to him here. They just entry in through the bottom lane, go for the melee racks. Trying to get some chakra damage out, plus the Shivas, slowing down the damage of the Dragon Knight, but as you mentioned, that heart, it's fine. He sits out of the fight, a couple of seconds, starts healing back up to full, dodging the chakram and eating away at the melee racks. Tries to slow him down there with the smoke cloud, but it's not going to be much. They really need a harder initiation. Now maybe he's going to be caught with the Dragon Tail, and Mind Control doesn't even go for him. He goes for the back line, stopping Xiao Wei. Now the buyback. And Liquid immediately managed to get out there. They get the Infest back into the Slaughter. They're going to turn, try and kill Xiao Wei again underneath that one. Oh my goodness, he thought he could lasso away, and the fight continues. Aggressive, actually getting a lot of damage now on Fada with the amplified damage stolen away by MMY. Useful, but not useful enough, it seems. 80 seconds down, and LGD call it just like that. Liquid on a tear through the lower bracket. Haven't dropped a game yet since they're knocked down by MVP. And they're supposed to be facing the tougher team as LGD and just beat MVP too, but it seems like they've really hit their stride now. Dominating LGD even after a tough break around the Roshan pit.
Moo mentioned Lifestealer's ridiculous win rate coming into this game. They seem to have a lot of counters, anti-BKB from the Bat Rider, the Smoke Swing from the Riki, Timbersaw, who's supposed to be really good, and Slark, Rubik with a low cast point. Like, all 5 of these heroes are theoretically decent versus Lifestealer, but Liquid made it look easy.
They certainly did. The crowd greets the victors of game number 1, but the series still continues forward. At this point in time, you're putting a lot of attention onto this Lifestealer. Do you think this is a hero that maybe needs to be banned out?
I think they also had some huge execution issues, maybe with a lot of misfires on his spells on the Timbersaw. Bat Rider just seemed to have no place in the game. Maybe he shouldn't have jungled so early. Maybe they should have respected the Oracle a little bit more. Not really exactly sure what their issue was over there. The Slark just didn't really seem to ever get his feet off the ground.
Yeah, and Sepp also had a hard time as the Riki being able to really get some ground going. As
yeah, he got owned by the NS.
Yeah, that's exactly what was going to happen in the mid game. But we'll see what our analysts have to think. A couple of them did think that LGD was going to come out on top in game number 1. Not the case though. Liquid staying strong.
Thank you very much, Cap. Yep, we'll come back to you for game 2, of course. Let's get the thoughts of our brand new panel. We have 2 members of DC here, as well as Nahaz. And we'll start with Nahaz. Good performance by OG.
I mean, we talked about M-Gods coming into that match, and it was Eminem, not Marshall Mathers, but Mind Control and Matumbaman that came up huge for Liquid. You look at those fights, when you add up Crush, Infest, when you add up the double Echo Saber hit, Slardar, and assume that Slardar and Lifestealer get one more auto attack off, they were blowing up the Slark from 2k HP in the mid game. He had no chance.
Yeah, take you through the stats right now, and it'll show you exactly what happened in terms of statistics, and it's good that we have you here.
You could just see that Matumbaman got. I mean, they're great in terms of telling the story of the game, and you can just see starting in that mid game how it was Matumbaman with the kills and Mind Control with the assists. You see, he shows up third here, and they just completely picked on aggressive Slark. He got a decent start in lane, but never really could get any kind of momentum because of that 2-hero combo.
What did you make of it, Misery?
I think LGD made a mistake, like other teams have made in the past as well in this tournament, giving away Lifestealer.
Yep.
VGR did it against us, and OG did it in their first game against Newbie, and the hero just seems too strong. I don't know, like, it's just too
difficult
strong.
to counter.
And then there are these combos like Slaughter, like Ricky with it, that are just out of control. You see this Slaughter, he's so fast at running around, and then he has this 8-second cooldown stun. And you have this, you have the vehicle that is like 522 move speed. He's like everywhere, you know. And like the play they made mid lane where Slardar was like running away with like 100 HP, back to the Lifestealer, and he jumps in immediately after TPing in, and then they re-engage. That was like really crucial, really cool play. Really good.
And the meta and the game style seem to be very much suited to that kind of play, doesn't it? In, out, back in again straight away. Those little cooldown heroes are really playing their roles. What did you make of it?
I mean, I saw Matumbaman Lifestealer with 2,000 gold over the Slark at like 7 minutes. He was like 8k net worth, Slark is 6k, and then this Slardar also has gold, like 1,600 gold in his bank, Pringle Boots and Wand and Culling Blade, and I'm just like, what?
I mean,
I thought this Timbersaw and Ricky and Batrider and stuff were enough to handle Lifestealer, and I was a believer, you know. I wanted Timbersaw to win.
I think the game would have been hard to play for Liquid if they didn't have Oracle, though, I believe, because they needed this counter to lasso. And yeah, I think that was why they were able to play the game that aggressively, because if they don't have this counter to lasso, they will lose a hero, you know, to lasso 4-staff. Yeah, playing less of 4-staff.
And it wasn't just the lasso. I mean, LGD tried to get aggressive, right? They tried to gank Fata twice early in lane, but I mean, he's just indestructible. This was the fight, I believe, that Misery you were referring to. I mean, look at how tanky Fata is in this fight. He's able to, at one point, he's able to stand in the fight against 4 LGD heroes, and they turn it around.
I don't know who calls this, if it's Mind Control saying, yo, jump into me, or if it's Matumbaman saying, Mind Control, get over here and jump into me. It can be both. I mean, but whoever did it is really amazing play.
I guarantee it's Matumbaman going, I'm TPing in.
Sure, I mean, they're both communicating, no doubt, but yeah, it's really good.
But that's a really underrated aspect, I feel, about the Dragon Knight. After the buffs to the passive Dragon's Blood, you have 3 points in Dragon's Blood, you get that Helm of Iron Will going toward your armor, and you already got 20 armor in lane. He was just indestructible in that fight.
You have raindrops too. Like,
exactly.
And in the lane, right? They did that move earlier where they went on the Dragon Knight, I believe, early in the game, and with the raindrops, and you know, you can't really kill him unless you're like 4 heroes and you time your spells perfectly. But yeah.
Yeah, the other thing that we saw happening is you see the Slark dying in these fights, and he had a couple of sequences, both in the early game and then later on in the mid game, where he died in a fight, and then he got ganked right again afterward. And that really set, you're talking about how the Lifestealer had this net worth lead. That was a really big deal in terms of getting that separation for the Liquid course.
Just look at it now. Like, it's...
I think like overall in the game, you know, it's just really hard for LGD to fight because of this Oracle counters the Batrider. Like the one time they had a good fight was when magically Bat Rider puts the guy on, like this is the fight, right?
Yeah.
He gets on the cliff and Lifestealer has to, they all have to run away.
I thought this was bad. This lasso, they drag him off the hill. Like,
Yeah,
you
could have
just
stayed
lasso
put.
him and you put him on, just keep him on the hill, you just stand there. Because they're not going to kill you if you're in the pit.
But now, you know, Liquid does not want to run away from this lineup, you know. They want to run in, but they can't run in now because Lifestealer is low HP, he used Rage, they used Oracle Ultimate, and like they're just on the back foot for no reason. So this was going for Roshan there was really risky, I think.
And they
it
had
was
used
probably
a
the bad
scan
call.
right before that. That was the weird thing about that fight is that Liquid, it was the only real misplay I felt from Liquid, that Liquid had used the scan and they kind of didn't know what to do. And the fight started, if you guys saw, with Lifestealer at like 30% HP.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just need to get a pick off first, right?
Yeah.
Or they don't have to go for Roshan there. It's not like LGD are going to take it with their heroes. Who's going to kill Roshan? Like, realistically, Roshan is scary for Liquid to fight around because of Bat Rider and Timbersaw, but they're never in threat of like losing Roshan to LGD's lineup. So that's also something that they might want to change up when they play Dire, is to get a hero that can kill Roshan, because it's something that that can easily put you ahead, right?
I thought for sure LGD was going to win the game.
Yeah, this is where, this
here.
is where I felt like, okay, LGD have this.
This is their timing. And then they take a fight after this near the bottom rune.
Oh yeah, I hope that's coming up in the highlights.
Yeah, but Rubik dies instantly, doesn't get any spell. This is it right here.
He
walks up this hill, his team's going up the other hill. Like, why is he here? I don't.
And Xiao 8 hard commits. That's the funny thing to me.
Yeah, he goes in after, the Oracle gets his ult off, and now like Rubik's already dead, Xiao 8's dead.
I don't think Xiao 8 knows what's really happening here, because like in a sense where Rubik kind of just walks up and feeds, you know, and it happens. He's not paying attention to his hero. He doesn't realize that he's on smoke probably, and then he doesn't blink out, so he just dies. And like 1 second later, Xiao 8 jumps, you know, and you probably don't realize that your Rubik didn't walk with you, you know. But I don't know, like I did feel like LGD were gonna take the game before this fight happened, you know, or after the 5-man wipe. But at the same time, Liquid just they start playing the more chill, you know, and then they farm up. And now Dragonite has BKB and stuff, and Night Stalker's tanky. Dragonite's tanky, Nyx is like almost unkillable.
Like, just look at this fight. Like they have this lasso on this Dragonite, gets him way in the back. He has no health right now, and he's not dying.
It's Oracle.
What's wrong with this hero?
I mean,
it's tilted move.
That's a different hero though. That's Oracle. It's ultimate.
Yeah, but the whole thing is tilted in now.
I mean, it's just
yeah, between 23 and 32, LGD actually took the net worth lead. It changed 4 times during this match, incredibly. But at 32 minutes, they were actually dead even on net worth. But from then on, it was all about Liquid.
Yeah, really, and I think we do have to give credit for MMY. I mean, how many times have we seen this guy on his hard supports just manufacture a Blink Dagger out of thin air? But, you know, that pivotal fight was they lost the Rubik right away. He'd been making such a difference for them, and they choose to go in anyway. And this is what I say about Liquid being so efficient. Part of that is when you give them any kind of advantage, they're just absolutely ruthless at exploiting it.
Yeah,
but likewise, LGD have played really cautiously in some of their other matches. They've been very careful about how they've gone into team fights, considered, very patient. And here, this seems to be a slightly different version of them.
I think the game overall will still be hard, even after this 5-man wipe. Let's say they walk in, it's still hard to fight them. And you got to get credit to Liquid, because they were there in the jungle waiting. You know, they were maybe about to smoke up themselves, so they were still playing it cool, you know. And I think the lineup just favored Liquid a bit at the end of the day. I think the LGD, it's not really their style to have all these single target, kind of split pushy type of lineups. I feel they would rather want some Tidehunters and some big AoE. They had some Tidehunter, Beastmaster, and Doom, I think, in the same lineup, you know. And they lost some lanes, but then they defend their base kind of style, and then they win the game anyway. And I think that suits their style more, and I think that's what they need to pull out to beat a team like Liquid.
Yeah, I mean, there was no real way of LGD walking up to a tower and hitting it at any point in the game. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
they actually have to get a lasso, they have to get a kill, and then
they actually have no tower damage, no Roshan damage whatsoever. Right. So, and that's an issue, right?
Yeah, and that's a big deal, right? Dire had been, I think, 10-2 in the last 12 games here on the main stage, over a 65% win rate in the tournament overall. But yeah, they couldn't exploit that Roche advantage.
I mean, I think Liquid, another way this team is so good is because they recognized how they win this game. They're like, they can't take Roche, they can't kill towers. We can just sit in the jungle right now, and they're going to come to us. They just sit on this hill, and that's exactly what happened. That's where the pivotal fight changed. I mean, I don't know if that's what they're thinking, but I'm sure that since they're all just 5 standing in the jungle, not killing creeps, like, why else would they be there than waiting, you know?
I think that's absolutely true. I mean, for the record, for whatever it's worth, I agreed with you guys after the draft. I did think on paper that LGD had the stronger draft, that you give them that draft against any team bar Liquid, OG, and Newbie, that they win that game. But Liquid just has such a great feel for identifying these key moments to go in.
I don't know. I think we just underestimated the Slaughter Nax combo.
Yeah.
Because
I think I overestimated Timbersaw a little bit.
It is ridiculously strong, and it's like it has so many comeback like mechanics, in a sense that you lose 5-man wipe, but if you get the right initiation at any point in the game, even if you're behind, you still kill people in 1 second. Like we saw it multiple times. This crush amp double hit, dead.
Yeah.
Go chase next. You're a Slaughter. You go for next. And I mean, it's just really hard to play against from behind. And if you're behind against it, it's like, well, good luck.
I just want to say I said Liquid would win 2-0, so
Still alive.
Wow.
Still alive on your prediction. That's good. I don't know whether you were aware, but we told everyone that you were going to be on the panel this evening. And PGL kindly asked if there were any questions that people in the community would like to ask you. And we have a couple.
Are we answering questions now?
Well, yeah, we might as well, right? Because, draft's a couple of minutes away, so we'll just put you on the spot a little bit. It's like a mini interview. Is that right? Is that cool?
Okay.
It's not action selective, but it's fine. Okay. Love you, SAS. Right, this one is for Moon Misery. What's your favourite hero and why? Very easy. See, these aren't tough.
It's Timbersaw, man.
Yeah, Timbersaw. Still?
same
Even after that last game?
Yeah, like, with Casey Chan, it's just like, it's the same thing.
All right, okay. Misery?
I have enjoyed Ricky as of late. I think it's just a new hero, and I haven't played it much in the past, and
And then every team bans it every game.
I used to like you.
Huh?
I used to like you.
Oh, come on, Ricky is...
I can't believe this. You've jumped on the crit bandwagon. You're a Ricky fan.
I mean, I don't know. It was just fun, I played a few pubs of it, and I thought, he's pretty shit in pub. And then I played with my team, and then, wow, this hero, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like that hero a lot now.
Okay. Can you say that this version of DC is the strongest team you've ever been in, Lou?
For me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I managed to win a game on LAN this tournament. I've been to 2 LANs previously. I did not win a game. So that was nice,
How do you do the straight face? Can you teach me that? In delivery straight face?
I just have some deadpan humor,
Yeah. I like it a lot, but I need to learn the face. Just so I can do it to Alan.
It's the beard, man.
Is it the beard? It hides it?
It's got to be. Come on.
It's the beard.
All right. Okay, 9K MMR bid. I'll let you off. Right, went too far away from the draft. So we should talk a bit about the second draft, because tactically speaking, it's going to be quite tricky for LGD, isn't it? What do they ban now? They've got to get rid of the Lifestealer. Okay, cool. That's number one. What else do they get rid of?
I think the Lifestealer is the big one. I still feel like if you're LGD, you're sitting there, you're saying, we underestimated the Nax a little bit, and if we had one fight back.
You got to remember that Liquid had first pick last game.
That's true.
So probably LGD has choice now, and they might choose the first pick. So
I've been wanting to ask you
they should do that.
Where are you on the first versus second pick, Radiant versus Dire? Because a lot of people at the beginning of the patch thought second pick was going to be really strong.
Yes, I think first pick is still better.
Okay.
You get to pick your Nax first of all, and then you just the second phase when you pick, the enemy picks first, meaning that you see what they do and then you can react to it, which is really important. Sure, second pick has the last pick, and we did get fucked by it when we played against VGR, against Terrorblade, but it doesn't happen that often that you can pull something like that. So I think first pick generally is still better. And I think LGD will take first pick here as well, and that means that it frees up a ban for them basically. They can, last game they banned what? Lycan Earth Spirit?
Like an Earth Spirit.
Was it?
Yep.
I don't think they should ban Earth Spirit. I don't consider, the hero is very strong still, but I don't think it's worthy of a first phase ban.
Okay.
I think they should try maybe banning, let's see.
Do you just straight up ban Lycan Lifestealer?
They want Lifestealer themselves, right? They want Lifestealer themselves, I would say. They could just ban the same. They're not going to play against Lifestealer this time around.
You ban
they will
Ricky.
pick it themselves.
Maybe you ban Ricky.
You could ban Ricky too, but yeah, Liquid only played one game of Ricky though.
Yeah.
You start first banning Ricky, then, I don't know. Bat Rider is also a hero in Dota. You might want to consider banning.
Yeah, it's been used. It's been used by a wide variety of teams.
I feel like LGD is going to go with some Tidehunter right now. Tidehunter.
If they're picking Tide, they might ban Disruptor then.
I don't know. Was Beast banned last game? Beastmaster could also be a hero that they could consider playing. I think they just want more team fight and more reliability later on in the game, so that they can play this chill game that they like to play. So when they go late game, when they go mid to late game, they have this Chrono or Tide Ravage with some aggressive carry hero.
Beast was actually untouched.
Beast was untouched.
Yeah. I think that's only like the third time.
And another thing I would like to see is maybe on some Ember Spirit or some Invoker or some Invoker was banned, but maybe more flashy hero. Timbersaw is pretty cool, but it's like it's not an Ember or an Invoker, and I think they need him to carry them more than he can on Timbersaw, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you're playing Timber mid, all you can do is kill the creeps, right?
You can hit your spells, but you can't do this split push, you can't do this combo and kill 4 heroes with Invoker and Sunstrike somebody, and an Ember. You can also make some crazy plays.
Someone needs to buff Storm Spirit.
Oh my.
We don't need that.
Don't encourage Blitz. Come on. And you realize you're encouraging Blitz and Charlie.
And Sumo.
Have you realized that
okay.
that since Storm Spirit's been nerfed, Blitz is not casting anymore?
That's right.
Yeah.
There may well be a connection here.
I think there is a connection.
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't miss that hero though.
No,
I miss it from a viewing point of view.
I'm a Filthy Ricky picker.
Yeah.
It's so I'm not any better. But I don't miss Storm Spirit. I really don't.
Most annoying hero in the last couple of years? Techies? Sniper?
When you hit the ban
Techies
versus
Sniper alone.
TI5.
It's triggered. FPS guy over there, guys. Come on, we need to band together.
Yeah, had to be one, didn't there? Hopefully we're not too far away. I think we're just waiting for one more of the Liquid players to join lobby. So why don't we go ahead and see if we've got a few more questions. I don't know, have we got more questions out there?
Give me another question.
Okay, we do have a few more questions. So we'll get some of the community questions up. Just while we've got you here, I mean, it's quite nice for the community to be able to throw their questions. They've really enjoyed these segments actually, because it just opens it up a bit more and they get a bit more information. Could you talk about your progression into the pro scene?
Me?
Yeah, that's one of the questions.
Well, my goal for when I wasn't a pro was just to get high MMR, and then people, they notice you. This guy is random, and he's like top 10 in rankings. And then eventually I got asked to join a team, and then we did pretty well in the qualifier. We didn't win it, but we got to the grand finals, the qualifier, and then I got picked up by a sponsor, and then I ended up at ESL New York and Shanghai, and then now I'm here. It was actually just luck. It was all luck and then a little bit of networking. I just knew people. I knew the right people at the right time.
The practice as well, hard work. It's not all luck, is it? I mean, luck in terms of who you end up with, I guess.
Yeah, I dropped out of college, gave myself a year to become a pro, and then a month before my deadline, it happened. So.
Okay. So what would you give advice to some of the guys that are high on the line?
I don't want to tell the kids out there, quit school, guys, play Dota 2. That's not what I want, But
do it.
Follow your dreams, That's what I did. It worked out.
But it doesn't work out for everyone. That's the point you're making, isn't it?
Sadly, it does not.
Okay.
We can't all be pros.
Misery, back in 1863 when you started out on the road to Dota 2 fame.
Yeah, I mean, I was just this
oldest
kid,
guy on the panel making age jokes.
Hey, come on.
I was just this kid who really liked Dota, and I played all day, non-stop, and I got really mad when I lost, and then that just drove me to keep getting better and better. I mean, there was no real MMR system back then. It was what was it back then? It was just...
Was this Dota 1?
You had your connections, you knew people by their nicknames and stuff, and you never met anybody back then and stuff. That's when I started playing.
Jump into IRC.
Yeah, and then there's some in-house leagues, and then slowly and steadily everything grew, and then you started getting recognized, start joining some lower tier teams, and then you get more recognized, and then you build your way up. For me, it was pretty slow. I played many years before I started playing competitively, but then again, competitive wasn't that big back then either. So, But yeah, I think to get to a point where you can play in teams, you gotta wanna start somewhere where you have this will to win to an insane extent, so you can continue to improve. And
you have to be literally crazy.
Yeah, you have to be pretty fierce, I think, and you have to keep going. And you need to want this MMR, so badly. And then you will get there to 8K or something like that.
You're one of the few players left who have played in all of the the Valve Majors and the TIs.
Mm-hmm.
There's like 5 or 6 of you now. I don't know about Alan. Do you remember? Is it 5, 6? There's not
I
many.
believe
is there?
it depends on whether you count University
Yeah,
Coach TI1,
which
but
was
it's
a sub,
5.
yeah.
There's 3 from China and then 2 from
Yeah,
the
puppy
West.
and yourself,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty cool, isn't it, for a long career?
Yeah.
It just means it'll be.
It's starting to become pretty cool, you know,
Yeah.
as the years progress.
Yeah.
Was there one moment when you can you remember one moment when you knew this is what I want to do with my life? I want to be a professional Dota player.
I don't know. I don't really remember. I think it was around high school when I dropped out of after first year, and this was like around the first time I went to LAN. And this, yeah, I got offered to China. What's going on?
It's just a crowd enjoying themselves, Misery.
Oh, is that
They
right?
just enjoy themselves. all day
I
long.
don't like it. Dota's
Don't
not
like-
fun.
I'm waiting for the game.
We are waiting for the
Yeah.
game. I'm being told they're just fixing a small issue for Liquid, so we'll take some more questions, I guess. I wonder if we have any more. Let's just double check. Differences between DC and other teams you've played on, Misery. What's the
Well,
biggest thing?
I mean, I have played in teams like this before, back in the day with mouse
Teams
sports
like this.
and like in a sense where I was kind of the captain, sort of, and it was not really initially a star-studded roster or something like that. Like it was kind of just a mix of players. It wasn't Cloud9, it wasn't Secret or something like that. So I've tried it before, but in difference, it's more like I'm the actual captain now, and I have more responsibility.
But
for
you're
the
older and
team.
wiser as well.
Yes.
So is
Smarter.
this the first time that you've been like 100% full captain, full leader of the team?
I was captain as well in LGD end
Okay.
the first few months, and then the team started like drowning a bit in everything, so then it became weird. But yeah, I think it's the first time where I can say that I'm the captain, you know, for real. So that's the main difference for me, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm playing in America in NA Dota. That's also a first for me.
Have you played in all of the regions?
I have not played in C.
Okay.
Apart, like I'm here now,
Apart from
right?
times, yeah.
But I have played in China and I played in Europe, obviously, and then now it's NA.
Do you want to play in C?
I don't really know if how that would happen. You know?
You're gonna tell all these people out here you don't want to play in C, really?
No, I'd love to play in C.
Yeah.
Philippines, especially.
There you go. So where are you guys? This is a topic that we've talked about in some of our other panel segments. Where are you guys on coaches? I know you guys are using PyCat as a coach in this event. It's become a lot more widespread, popular with a lot of different teams. What do you think about it?
I think coaches are really crucial. I think I don't even know if there's a team without a coach at this event. At this point, like all players that didn't have a team going up to this event kind of started coaching. Fucking Mad, Syndron, PyCat, you know, some Blitz, Heen, whatever. Like all of them, they're all starting to coach, you know. And I think it's really important for, if you don't have a coach, you will lose out on some aspects, no doubt.
Yeah.
But it's also
What about this double coach thing that's going on? Like Liquid not satisfied with one; they've got 2 coaches, and then some of the teams have got analysts and stats people as well. It's really starting to become a big team now, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's also important you respect your coach and actually listen to them. You know, if you have this coach and the coach wants to change your team, it's actually bad. You know?
Yeah.
For example, Complexity. I'm sure we all have met Kyle. He's sometimes a hard guy to get along with, and there's a reason they don't have a coach because of this. So I mean, it's not a bad thing, but he understands that you can't always agree with Kyle. So. There's no reason to have a coach if you're not gonna, just gonna argue with them and be like, "You're wrong," and like, "Why am I here?"
Isn't that part of it though as well? Isn't it about putting different ideas to each other and allowing that coach to be the kind of bad guy in the team? If you're like, "You're wrong, you're wrong,"
I think the coach needs to complement the team, make you better for what you're already doing.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to make you different.
Right. Without revealing too much, what has PyCat done for you guys? What has he given you extra that you didn't have before?
I mean, he's kind of just been what do you call that? Like we have our team, you know, we play together for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then Pyke comes in and starts watching some of our games, and then he has some input that maybe we don't see.
Right.
And so he pretty much compliments in a sense that he has his own way of thinking about the game that is not inflated in any way by. He's not biased.
Yeah.
He's not inflated by our team's playstyle or drafts or whatever. So he just has a new way of looking at things. And I think another thing is I think coaches are better the first month, 2 months, because after 2 months they start just becoming a part of the team.
Right.
And now they think like the captain. They think like the team. They lose this.
Objectivity.
Yeah, they lose that.
Yeah.
They lose that
Which,
thing.
which is great, I guess, if you're winning, but not so helpful if you're not.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really explored,
Yeah.
you know. But I feel like that it could be like that, you know.
Right.
But you're definitely right. I think Liquid has like Blitz for some spiritual guy and whatever, and Heen is like the real coach.
Spiritual guy?
And then
Wow.
He's actually like a literal
I mean,
storm spirit.
Well,
now.
I
Blitz is
don't.
my spirit animal.
I don't even think I made this up just now. I think I've heard that from somebody else.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel like it's
I
it's
mean,
in there
Charlie
somewhere.
called him their life coach.
I mean, life coach works
Yeah.
as well.
Just calm down, boys. Calm down. It's okay. I can do that. See, should be a life coach.
Yeah.
No problem.
Want to
Yeah.
join?
Yeah. Okay. Well, apparently, we have one more question from the community, so we'll take that one right now. If we can pop that one on the screen. Everyone enjoying themselves out there as well. It's good. Just waiting for our last question. What hero does DC think is the absolute worst in this patch?
Oh boy.
Negative nannies out there.
Looking at the
Why
hero
couldn't
list
they
here.
have changed that around?
Yeah, I need to
Gone,
pull
"What's
the hero
best?"
list so I can really get a good look at this.
What do
Sniper?
Does it have to be picked heroes?
No, it doesn't have to be. I mean, I would rephrase the question slightly as to what do you really hate playing against?
Playing against?
Oh, that's very different.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's just life stealer, you know? Like,
Every time.
yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Worst hero in Dota, huh? I think.
As a troll warlord.
I mean, I haven't seen a Bloodseeker in like 6 months.
Yeah, we haven't seen a Bloodseeker.
Not in competitive, not in
yeah.
pubs. The hero
No.
is like just gone.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't seen a Bloodseeker since
And
like
no.
Melk's
I-
been in a major.
I barely know what his spells does at this point because I have simply
Sorry,
forgot.
Jacob.
You know,
Yeah.
nobody is playing it, and I don't know. Maybe that is the worst. I was also playing a pub game of Ogre, a while back.
Yeah, I've seen Alliance play Ogre
He
in the
felt
last few months.
he felt
Wasn't
very
great, though.
sad.
Yeah.
Misery was so mad I couldn't go to
I
bed.
was actually
It was too
triggered
loud.
by how worthless I felt.
Let's talk
But-
about the positive parts of the patch because it's a
Yes.
pretty rounded patch, right?
Oh.
We've had 94 heroes picked here and 97 picked or banned. That's incredible. That's the most ever of any tournament we've ever had. Really good deep
Yeah.
hero pools for
Hippo
everyone.
hasn't been picked yet.
Not
right?
yet, but banned 8 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you
Like
want to see it?
6 of us against us, right? 6 of
Yeah.
them? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And I wanted to ask you guys specifically about this too because I'm pretty convinced that we've had all these different heroes picked, but I think the TI meta will be very different than this tournament. I think there's a lot of innovation left. I think there's a lot of things that teams don't know about yet. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, I mean, I think this patch is really good. I think all you gotta do is nerf Lifestealer slightly or something like that, nerf some heroes slightly, and then it's fine, you know? Then some other heroes might end up being ridiculous, but like
that's
it's
what's
just
happened
gonna
in the last
it-
small additions, isn't it?
yeah,
Like
exactly.
ABCD,
Like
all
you
the
don't need to
little
change.
changes.
You don't need to
Yeah.
change something huge, no, because it's the game's already so great. Like at this point,
I mean, it
so
shows, right? All these heroes being picked.
yeah.
It's good.
Okay. Yeah. So Nox actually sent me all the list of heroes that were not picked yet. There's quite a few, and there's techies in there. Pugner, Pudge,
We,
OD.
the techies are like, do we want that though? Do we really want
Well,
that?
I mean, from a viewer's point of view, I quite enjoyed when it got picked at TI last year.
No, I would like to see a Techies.
Sorry, my bad, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a Techies.
Don't
I'm
like
pretty,
playing against it.
pretty sure that hero's playable.
Yeah.
Is it?
I think so. might be a waste of time to find out and realize it's not, but I think could be all right.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot. I mean, it is a deep hero, but it's what we were saying before. 94 and picked 97, picked or banned. Out of all the ones that haven't been, other than Meepo, which we've discussed, is there anything else you think might work? Maybe an OD?
A Bloodseeker
I
jungle,
think
maybe.
OD got hit pretty hard in the nerf, right?
You don't
I think
Yeah.
Pudge is viable. Navi's out. They are probably the
What
most
does he
likely to
do?
pick it.
what does Bloodseeker jungle
What
do?
does Bloodseeker jungle really do?
Have you tried it? Have you seen a lot of Axe jungles in this patch?
Yeah.
I
But
mean- I
Axe
mean,
has like Axe has some AoE control. Axe can actually go initiate. I mean, Bloodseeker he can run up and hit people, but
He runs very fast.
and he hits really hard.
Yes, he does. and he jungles very quickly.
Just so people know, by the way, Bloodseeker is Jacob's favorite hero. That was not just a random flame of milk. Love you, dude.
Yeah, all right. We'll leave it there for now. Thank you very much, all three of you. Apparently, we are still searching for a solution for Liquid, so we will finish that off and we will get back to you. We are going to go to a quick break, but when we come back, the match will resume. Don't go too far away.